You work for it here.
That's all right, man.
Just building up the suspense.
Man, it is all good.
Seconds, here we go.
So we are back again, man. You know, we had to do a little test run.
Little warm up.
Little warm up.
Yeah.
So
you want me to start back from the top?
we're gonna skip a little. I just wanted to get in a little. I wanted to give you guys a little history lesson of Mr. Jesse James over here. Again, my name is Barry Crosby, and man, this is the stop through on Shop Culture, and I'm with my man here, Jesse James, the controversial. No,
lightning
rod, Jesse James.
Lightning rod in the barber industry.
Lightning rod in the barber industry. So man, so we hope that this connection is a little bit better for you guys, man. So you know, here at the stop through, I like to visit barbers and stylists in their environment. I like to see how they work. I like to see their shops. So we're at the Federal Way Barber College out here in Federal Way, and this is a big school, man. So you guys are doing your thing. Give us a little history about the school, though, because I want.
So about the school. So I was working in California at my barber shop. The school was growing fast. We were inside the mall. A lot of customers, which has always been our niche. That I felt that our school does offer is a lot of live customers to work on. But at the time, it was my dad and my brother and just a handful of students. There was just too many customers, so my dad was encouraging me to move up here. It got to the point in my life where I was ready to make that move, and I hopped in the car, I drove up here. I signed up for instructor school as soon as I got here. My dad was paying me $10 an hour. I was driving to see my son twice a month, every other weekend. So I was working every day I was here, driving to go see him. It was tough. I really got to thank that first class. It was really an amazing class. We just had some amazing cutters right out of the gate, and we really survived.
Real quickly, name a few, because I see some that's kind of spread out in the barber community. So give them a little shout out.
And that's what I love about visiting the shops for promoting the barber events is I get to see my old students opening up their own shops. I get to visit. I see them in shops just booked up. It's amazing. But like OG up in the Kingdom Barber Shop in Kent, Dang, Miguel. Miguel's in Jay Kinlow. We got Dang is in the Kingdom. Deb Brooks was one of the original ones.
Shout out to Deb Brooks, man.
Yeah, Deb Brooks is amazing.
Good dude.
And then I got some of those. Which one? Rick the Barber. No, he went to Bates. Also another good dude. Actually, I got to tag him in this post now that you said Rick the Barber. I've been seeing this. I just visited the Seawolf Barbershop in Tacoma. Casey's been open up for 2 years there. I think we got about 10 or 11 barbershops that have come out of this school, which is amazing.
That's amazing.
Even more amazing, what I love, I got some of the original barber students working at King's Den location still.
Okay.
So it's like they left, but they never left. That was kind of cool.
Have you
All access, CC and Dex doing some amazing things.
Dex he's the one. Did he win? He won.
Dex won the freshest taper.
Okay.
Last time.
Shout out to him for that. That's the big props on that one.
Yeah, Dex was always an amazing talent out of here. He came in with just oozing talent.
So what made you start visiting different barbershops? I mean, was there a particular reason why you started doing that? Because every time I look at one of your posts, if you don't follow this guy on Facebook, he's always on the move. He's always going to these different locations. Why was that?
Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all of it. You gotta follow them all.
Oh, okay.
So it started off, we were open for about 1.5 years here. I really had no motivation. I had no purpose. I had no drive. I was kind of going through the motions. If you talk to a lot of my first students, and me and them, we joke around about it all the time. Like, it's really been like an amazing journey. But like, I was sitting there honestly playing phone games, just not taking it seriously. So I went to the original Battle of the Barbers, PNW, June 23rd, 2018.
Now, who put that one?
That was Herb the Barber Presents Battle of the Barbers,
to the
PNW. I got a vendor booth there. I had nothing on it. And it was kind of like, I kind of look at it like that's how my career was. I walked into that barber battle. I didn't know anybody in the room.
So you went into this barber battle. You didn't know anybody there. And you had a vendor booth.
I had a vendor booth, and
nothing was on the vendor booth,
except for one enrollment form.
So one enrollment form.
So what I did for that battle is, I knew I wanted something. Like, I knew I knew I wanted to do something, I just didn't know what.
Okay.
So what I did is I took 6 of my, I found whoever would come to the barber battle with me. 4 of them competed. I sponsored them all. I'm like, come on, guys, I'll get us shirts. I'll pay for you guys to compete. Like, I want my squad with me because I knew my students had something special. I knew they were talented, and having them there with me that first battle gave me confidence to even start my journey.
So they represented the school at this point.
Yes. Okay. And I had a vendor. I didn't even spend like maybe 5 minutes at my vendor booth because I was off just experiencing the barber battle.
Okay.
I was a wide-eyed. I didn't know. I knew Maria from Olympia Barber School, who helped us open this one. Shout out to Maria. And then I knew Joel from VIP Barber Salon. He just happened to visit the school like a week before the battle. Okay. And it was I remember like weeks before the battle, Herb comes in and I'm sitting there at my desk not doing anything, and he comes bringing flyers, and I
call Herb the godfather of this. Man.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there. He comes in and he drops off the flyers and he's like, "Is the owner in?" And I'm sitting there and I'm like, "No, he's not in." I'm thinking I didn't know who he was. I was just like,
So you lied to
the godfather? I wasn't. I didn't see myself as an owner. I saw myself as an hourly worker, kind of just running through the motions. Like Herb will tell you, and when we tell the story together, he's like, "Man, Jesse had like zero confidence."
Oh, he's told me.
How he described the first time he met me, and I was like, you know what, this guy cared enough to come and visit the Federal Way Barber College and invite us to the barber battle, and it made me want to go. I remember, so then I started looking it up a little bit online. I saw Johnny Blade back in Barber Life Studio 1 and 2. He did a post with Herb when Herb visited him, and I was like, man, this looks fun, and that's what made me want to go. So I call up Herb, he left his number, and I'm like, hey man, I got 4 students who want to compete, I want to buy some tickets, I want a vendor booth. So Herb comes back, I paid for it, ready to rock. Like I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea it was going to be a springboard into what's happened over the last 20 months.
It took off, man.
So back to the social media thing, which was when I'm visiting shops. So I didn't really know what I was doing at first because I started visiting shops well before I ever decided to throw a barber battle.
Were you visiting for just?
I was visiting for networking. Okay. So a big part of my philosophy is always adding value to the community. So I always say this is a value given game. Whoever gives the most value is going to make the most money. Just plain and simple. It's a value given game. So I went to the shops. I took pictures of them working. I talked with them. Kind of just talked to the owners about maybe getting some of my students who were graduating into their shops, trying to build a relationship with them. So what I started doing, which none of the shop owners even realized what I was doing, is I started running little like $10 ads on Instagram and Facebook of the shops without telling them, without their knowledge, without, just sharing my experience, rating them online, giving them the 5 stars and saying something genuine that I got from the experience of being in the barbershop. But then
that's real cool. That is real cool.
So then their customers would come in their chair and they're like, hey, I saw you on that other page. Like their customers started thinking their barbers were famous because they saw them on another page. And then the barbers like every time, and what ended up happening from that was like whenever somebody asked them what barber school to go to, they sent it my way. I didn't even see that part coming. I knew Instagram and Facebook was working. I started, looking into the ads, and I really, once the barber battle, I started amping the ads big time. I just wanted to visit the shops. I wanted to visit the people who took first, second, and third. I wanted to visit the judges. I just wanted to build relationships with them. It was pretty much me practicing my networking. It was the first step of that. I didn't have an agenda. It was just build the network of barbers, and
that's one thing I think the barber community does lack in terms. We don't utilize all of social media besides Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Because there's other forms of social media that you can use. So,
everybody's 95% Instagram.
And it has to be more.
Well, people need to do the level of social media that makes them happy. But what my fear is, and the reason why I'm not 100% Instagram, is because nobody cares who the coolest person on MySpace is. For us old enough to remember that. Facebook is, if you're not running Facebook ads, Facebook's kind of, the same 50 to 100 people see it. The algorithms just change as more people join. And I think in 5 or 10 years, people aren't going to care who the most followed person on Instagram is.
Oh, it's going to change.
Is my guess.
Well, no, I think it's going to change. Something else will come and take its place. So you're right. I think it's another 7 to 8 years. So
Because these platforms, I mean, you're talking about entrepreneurship. The guys who are running these companies are like the top entrepreneurs,
and they understand the marketing aspect of it. Yeah.
So it was building a network. So then when I really got into visiting the shops is about 40 days, 35 days, 40 days after the battle. I made some improvements here. You know, I got that desk over there. I made the shop look more presentable. I called up Herb and I'm like, hey man, can you come down and visit the shop? I just want to, you know, thank you, kind of talk to you, you know, pick your brain a little bit. Let's just talk. And so Herb came down here. We took a picture. We met. I pretty much just thanked him for doing the Battle of the Barbers. I told him, you know, any way I can help you, you know, I'm here to help. If you need help on like any vendor booths, promoting, I'm
okay.
You know.
So yes. So that's the beginning stage.
That was the beginning stage.
Let's fast forward to the Battle of the Barbers.
Which one? I mean, which there's.
I know was it 2?
So there was Battle of the Barbers 1, which is the one that changed my life. Then there was the Nightmare at the Freight House, which was a battle. It was, you know, Herb the Presents Battle of the Barbers, Nightmare at the Freight House. That was.
And then
4 months later, and then the big one, June, would have been the one you're probably talking about.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, so that would have been about 11 months later.
So that's 11 months later. That one to me was incredible. That was the first one that saw Kulture was there, and we did a lot of interviews with the contestants, and it was an incredible turnout. Right?
Yes, it was spectacular, breathtaking.
Yes, Herb,
jaw dropping.
If you guys weren't there, you should have checked that one out. I think we still have footage live on the Shop Culture page, and I'm sure there's more footage. What do you take from that one? Talk to me about that particular one.
Well, I mean, there's a lot in the middle between, you know, that one and that one. You know, at that point, it would have been I kind of shadowed Herb on the October one, and then that was the second barber battle that I shadowed him, helped him promote, traveled with him. We were roommates at the time. A lot of people don't know that. We were roommates. We traveled to California twice. We we hit Rain of Styles. Like, we hit a lot of shows in between that. That one was it was night and day from the year before. You know, I just saw the video from the first one and then remembering from the June battle. Like, it was the growth was spectacular.
Yeah.
In 1 year.
Yeah.
It was spectacular.
There was a lot of positives from there, but there also was some negatives from there, right?
Yes.
Misunderstandings.
Miscommunications.
Okay. Moving forward, you know, what do you want to say about some of those misunderstandings?
Well, without getting too much into it, it's more of, because misunderstandings and miscommunications and barber feuds, they're gonna happen. You can't avoid them.
It's an alpha male industry.
It's just when you're dealing with people and networks, like, there's gonna be people that don't like you. There's gonna be people that like you. My takeaway from the whole situation is I want to focus on how do I respond when something like that happens. Not so much what happened, because when I think about what happened, like, it hurts me. I'm sure when Herb thinks about what happened, I'm sure it hurt him. I mean, we were like brothers, and I think people.
You guys brought a lot of people together.
I think people underestimate how close me and Herb were. I think me and Herb maybe lost sight of. I know I did. I don't want to speak for Herb, but I know I lost sight of how close we were. Of how much I learned from him. I'm sure he learned from me too, but I know a lot of the things that are happening in my life right now would not be possible if it wasn't for that year rocking with Herb. I mean, we took on the barber world together, you know, and didn't just survive. I mean, it was thriving, you know, it was thriving.
Well, we had an in-depth conversation. It was the three of us. And we won't go into detail what was discussed in there, but there was definitely a brotherhood there, right?
Yes, absolutely. And so after the October battle, so in that battle that battle was one of those things. I told Herb, I was like, look, man, I just want to thank you. I was like, let me sponsor the battle. Like, I don't want nothing back from it. I just want to help you do another one, because I wanted all my students and all my alumni to see what changed my life, you know. So I got like 30 or 40 of them to come to that October one. So after the October one, Herb comes back to me and he's like, Jesse, I think you should throw a battle. And this is before my October one. This is my first one. It was in December. We did it right here at the Sears Mall. It was a free battle, free to compete, free to come, free everything. And I had about 75 people show up, man. It was an L in my, you know, it was an L that I took on the face, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to come back from that, to be honest, you know. And Herb came to me afterwards and he's like, look, man, you had barbers in every category. If you look at it, you've only been doing this since June to December, talking 5 months. I don't even know how, like, I was in no business to even throw a barber battle. But, you know, barber battles changed my life. I wanted to try it. So, you know, Herb helped me out on that one, and 75 people showed up. So then we went through the June process, and I tried to do it my own way that time. Me and Herb used to have discussions. He was like, visit the shops, and I was like, social media. Visit the shops, social medias. So what I figured out on the second time, the June battle, was visit the shops and social media. It wasn't that, you know, you can't have one without the other. You know what I mean? Or you can visit shops, but if you document it, it's that much more powerful, and because
it reaches more people.
Yeah, and barbers see how hard you're working. They're like, man, this guy's putting in work for the.
That's how I noticed you guys.
Yes,
that's exactly how I noticed you guys.
That's what I learned. And that was the big takeaway for me from the June battle. Is if you fast forward to my October 20th battle from the December battle, which is about 8 or 10 months. Can't do the math right now. What I learned from Herb doing that June battle was the difference between my battle being as successful as it is. It's the reason why American Crew is sponsoring this battle coming up. It's the reason why I got Babyliss deals, sponsorships. I got, you know, it's just, it wouldn't be happening if I wouldn't have learned that June battle. You know, the success wouldn't have been there. And
I will just echo that. Herb, he has a giving heart. He shows. I've watched him give information and knowledge to just everybody. I've never met anybody like that. And so when he's giving you that information and you soaking it up, isn't it hard to kind of get to that place that you're at? Like, when you guys focus of what was important?
So when I focus on all the positive things that Herb did for me, it's easier for me to respond with love and gratitude. And when I focus on the bad things of what happened, it has a direct effect on my whole life in a negative way. So that is I don't think one situation should ever have, not one situation can define you. You know what I mean? A lot of like judging people, and what I've tried to focus on is like, and you know, people judging me for my actions, people, you know, some people judging Herb for his actions. Like, nobody has all the context. Nobody knows what decisions we were left with to make those actions. You know what I mean? Nobody but me and Herb knows the full story. And everybody else who has an opinion on it really doesn't have the full story. And you know that. I think
the important lesson now is that when there are difficult situations or miscommunications, that you talk directly to that person, right?
Directly to that person, but not only that. I mean, like, there's going to be some disagreements that aren't miscommunications, and there's going to be some people that just don't like you. There's going to be people that just want you to fail. There's going to be people that talk smack about you. Like, I want to respond to all those situations positively. I want to, with love, and be like, you know what? That person must really be hurting right now. If they're taking time out of their day to spread negativity about me, instead of trying to fight back with, you know, anger and resentment, why not just be like, you know what? I feel bad for that person, and I hope they come into a place where they can spread love and positivity. And a lot of the mistakes that have happened to me since the June battle has been because I focused too much on all the bad that happened to me instead of focusing on, you know what? I just threw the second biggest barber battle in Washington history. I've been at this for 20 months. Like, I have a lot of good, you know, I've opened up 2 shops last year because of the inspiration I have why not just focus on that and move on, because I'm going to miss out on opportunities.
And share the wealth that you've gained, and since somebody gave you the game, then you give the game to somebody else, and that's what the community is about, or at least it should be about.
It's a value given game, and when you give the game, it's going to add the most value.
When you be selfish and only focus on yourself, I think you missed the point.
Yes, and the barber battles, if your barber battles need to be about the barber community, it needs to be about showcasing the barber talent. It's the only way to happiness. People, when you focus, what am I trying to say? When you focus on yourself, if all your posts are like, buy this for me, instead of like showing love, like it limits you. I just want to focus on I want to keep my mindset positive, and saying a lot of my success is because of the inspiration from Battle of the Barbers PNW. And I got no problem saying it. I have no problem saying Herb throws the biggest barber battles in Washington. He is the man at barber battles. I'm just blessed and grateful that my barber battles are in the conversation. We're close to it. I've been to a lot of barber battles all over the state, and I've only seen 2 that are bigger than Herb's and mine. And so Herb's is pretty much beating, almost 47 states right now. I haven't been to all those, so I can't say that, but that's a broad statement. But
this was just I remember when I first met the one that was like, man, paying homage to.
So if I'm okay with being number 2 to the OG of barber battles, to the founder of barber battles. If I'm second best to Herb, I'm all right with that, because I know, I got a lot of. I'm still very young in this game. You know what I mean? I'm a baby in this game, and it's an honor to just to have an impact that I've had. You know what I mean? I'm excited for the future.
Well, I thought it was very important that we do this. I think that there's a lot of whispering and a lot of going back and forth, but I think this is very important because the community needs to all come together. We have something special out here in the state and in this community, from Seattle, Tacoma, Everett, the whole 9, and we need to cherish it and build on it. So putting this all on the back burner.
Out there, on the back burner. And I think
let's move forward. It's time to go.
And what the biggest opportunity that I think is Herb's amazing June battle. There's a lot of people at that barber battle that was not at my barber battle. So when you take the 2 barber battles and realize that there's a lot that were at mine that were not at his, and a lot of his that aren't at mine.
Oh, I know.
You're talking the barber battles.
Who says that all the time?
You do, and it just means the barber battle scene is growing, and that's good for anybody who wants to throw barber battles, because when I can go to a barber battle with 500 people, 250 barbers or whatnot, that's a chance to network and grow. I wouldn't have that opportunity if that barber battle didn't exist.
Yes.
So
I do encourage you to support the actual event, and it's not always about what you can get out of it. Sometimes it's about giving to.
Well, adding value. Okay, it gives you an opportunity to add value to the community, and that's
absolutely.
what I started with.
Yeah, and it's
by going to the shops, taking pictures, running ads. That's how I started my career. Was giving value. I felt like giving value to Battle of the Barbers PNW. I feel like for all the naysayers and all the everybody who's got something bad to say about that, I think there's no denying that I brought a lot of value to Battle of the Barbers PNW. Just as Battle of the Barbers PNW has brought a lot of value to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think anybody that's part of it can see that you did bring value to it. Absolutely.
And the whole, and I support. We got Raina Styles on March 1st. That's
shout out to her. She's coming on.
Aisha, that was one of my favorite barber battles last year. Washington Hair and Barber Showcase coming up on March 29th.
Okay.
Got some new blood in the barber battle scene, so that's exciting to see. You've got Northwest Barber Expo. Thank you to Alex for getting a VIP table at the Battle of the Barbers coming up on April 5th. That's another barber battle. Mm-hmm. Battle of the Blade over in Eastern Washington. Johnny Blade's doing a lot of good things, and even the craft studio. Can't forget about Spokane, man. That is a long drive, but I've been to the last 2 Spokane battles. You know, I love what they're doing over there. I'll be visiting Spokane this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be going to Sunnyside this year, a couple new spots, and this is my first time ever going to Seattle visiting barbershops.
Oh
so
my goodness,
you
venturing.
I'm going to.
We discussed it last year.
I'm going to.
I was like, man, and not only that, man, we got to pay homage to some of these old school OGs, barbers too, that's been doing it for 25 years plus, you know.
And that is why I added the traditional haircut category. Where what I want to see is I want to see the juice cut. I want to see the Gumby.
Oh man.
I want to see something. So it's the traditional. I want to see the flat tops.
The whole nine.
You know, I want to see the big hair pompadours. You know, like so. Adding that's a new category for us on April 5th.
Yes.
So yeah, but back to and then the hair jams. That's the other thing we wanted to cover. It's kind of the new thing coming on. It's taking Washington by storm right now. There was a Trippy Barber showcase last night, which was
Shout out to
fire.
her. I heard it was. I seen some of the footage. It was off the hook.
Yeah, the Complex threw a real big one over there, and I think it's Yakima. It's Pasco maybe.
Okay.
And then we got Eric Cruz threw one at the Barber Lounge, 150 people.
Whew.
He is like the founder of the hair jams in Washington.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so glad I got to meet him. I'll be visiting you tomorrow, Sola Salons in Puyallup. I'll be coming through.
Okay, man.
I'm
so
excited.
We got some shout out. So we're gonna close it. This is a actually extended version of the stop through actually, but it's always good, man, to catch up and to kind of put stuff to bed and move forward. So I think this was really good, man, Jesse. So I appreciate you allowing me to come on, and you actually got a hold of me and said, hey, man, I want to talk about some things, and I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, man, it's time. So
it is. There's no need to hold on to anything. It just stunts your growth, and you know, learning to respond with love and positivity is the best long-term solution, not only for business but just for happiness.
just happiness.
Just happiness. You know.
You think like yesterday, we just lost an icon. You know, shout out to Kobe Bryant and his family. R.I.P. on that one. But when you lose, you know what I'm saying, loved ones, man, time is precious, man, and valuable. So let's value one another and live another day, right? So, anything last word?
You know, I think I'm gonna I don't think I can top that.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm gonna leave that one to you.
All right, man. So remember, as always, to and follow Shop Culture, and man, just man, this was crazy, man. So this was cool, man, Jesse. Appreciate you, man.
Yep, thank you.
Shout out. Thank you for watching Shop Culture.
Come by.